Comic Boom.
Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 754. First thing I want to say is that I absolutely love this cover by Robson Roca. Colors, I think, by Brad Anderson. Great stuff. Absolutely beautiful. I also like the cover B by Brittany Holzher. I've never heard of her, but I like her art. It's this type of art that I really like. I wish they would rock the boat more with a variety of great cover artists like this instead of having just one like Jenny Frison for a long time. I like Jenny Frison. She's an okay artist. But, you know, there was just too many. There was too much of her. It's too much of her art on too many of the issues. They had to really rock. I thought it was just too static, too boring, most of her Wonder Woman poses. This is way better. Way better. I love this art. Robson Roca, good job. Now, Steve Orlando wrote the issue here. And this issue stars Maxima. And Maxima's the bottom there. She's got sporting a cut lip. And it looks like they've done a battle here. As it turns out, Maxima ends up in this issue because she comes to Earth looking for Wonder Woman's help because she's been basically overthrown by the king of her home planet of Almerac. She is the queen. And there's a king and queen of Almerac. And the way the system works on Maxima's planet is that they're basically ruled by a king and a queen. And, well, the king is upset with Maxima because Maxima doesn't want to be a queen anymore. Or rather, Maxima wants to have her own relationships because Maxima is a lesbian. And Maxima wants to have her own relationships. And she doesn't feel that she doesn't want to be beholden to a king in that particular way. And of course the king kicks her out, but there's a secret. Maxima has a secret, and the secret is that Almerac was actually founded thousands of years ago, not by a king and queen, but by a queen and a queen. And apparently this is a big secret, that if all the people of Almerac knew that their original king, or their original monarchy was founded by a queen and a queen, by two women, that somehow that would cause a revolution and they would just kick the king out and they would embrace a queen and a queen. Yes, the story is that one-dimensional, I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is. I get what Steve Orlando was trying to do here, and look, it's a one-shot story, so you got to sort of imagine all the pieces coming together, and it's okay. Okay, it's a feel-good story where Wonder Woman, and of course it had to be Wonder Woman because she comes from an island of women, so naturally if there's a hero that's going to help a lesbian, it's going to be Wonder Woman, right? I mean, of course. That's the cliche thing you'd expect. So Wonder Woman helps a superpowered lesbian get back to her planet and to tell her people a secret that the true monarchy is between a queen and a queen, and it ends with them defeating the king and Maxima ending up with her lover, ruling as queen and queen. But just in case you think that Maxima is a bigot and someone who discriminates herself against heterosexuals like the king is, well, we get a little bit an additional tidbit to the end where Steve Orlando scripts that Maxima is not going to rule as a queen. She's going to be a figurehead, and she's going to appoint a council. And the council is going to lead Almerac. And it's going to be almost like essentially a constitutional monarchy like we have in Britain. But it's going to be a queen and a queen, and it ends with Maxima kissing her girlfriend, ruling as queen and queen, but really as figureheads with a high council ruling. And everybody lives happily ever after, and that's really it. That's what we get. And once again, of course, naturally, all the men are jerks, all of them. And the only time we get shown men who aren't jerks, there's a near the end, Maxima confronts Wonder Woman about her repressed feelings for someone who she loves, and that's Steve Trevor. And Wonder Woman has a very interesting memory. She seems, when Wonder Woman remembers her lost loves, it shows a picture with Wonder Woman and the New 52 Superman. Now, does Wonder Woman remember her relationship with Superman? That's the big question. Because that looks an awful lot like Superman. But we know from continuity that it can't be. Because Rebirth Wonder Woman, all this was revealed to be a lie. Remember Greg Rucka, those first 24, 25 issues? It's all a lie. New 52 was all a lie. But is the New 52 back in continuity? What's going to happen with 5G? Are we still getting 5G? Are we going to get New 52 Superman back? Is Wonder Woman going to, be able to do the do the super nasty again? I don't know. It's rather interesting what's happening here. Is that a mistake? That's a fairly significant mistake. I mean, DC editors are really stupid. I'll grant you that. But are they that stupid to put that scene in there if it wasn't on purpose? What's the point of that? I don't know. Maybe it's just a major mistake and somebody should be fired and follow Dan Didio out the door. I don't know. Or maybe this actually has a narrative purpose or a point. Are we going to be getting the New 52? Are we still going to get somehow the individual that played Superman in the New 52? Is he going to come back? I don't know. But it seems rather odd to me. Now, Steve Orlando has left DC Comics. He works for Marvel. So I don't think Steve Orlando, if he put that in there, I think it was maybe just to tease readers or whatever, and maybe he snuck it through editorial. I don't really know what's going on. But in any event, that's what we have here for this storyline. This would be one of those comics where it's probably going to be referenced by the LGBT community as being, check it out, it's really good, etc., etc., etc. And it's not. It's forced. The narration is forced. The plot lines are forced. It wraps up ridiculously conveniently. But it is what it is. It would be a great Silver Age story, If this was 1973, this would be a great story. Or 1968, it would be probably something that could be looked at as, really revolutionary. But now it's just kind of blah. It's kind of like, it's a little bit forced. Again, it's not bad, but think of how much better this story would have been. How much better this story would have been if the message at the end would have been more on the lines of, it doesn't matter if as a leader, if you're a king or a queen, whoever you love, you're free to love whoever you want. And that the best leaders are the ones that encourage freedom of expression and freedom of being who you are, whether you're gay or heterosexual or whatever, That type of freedom of expression is important. And that's the type of society that's most important. But unfortunately, the way this comes across, it's like the people of Almanac, they're actually supposed to care. Are they actually supposed to, why? If you're a member in Britain and you found out that 1,000 years ago that your king and queen was actually a queen and queen that founded Great Britain, 1,000, 2,000 or whatever, in 1066 AD, would you care? Would that change the way? Would you demand that the queen and and the king, that the queen find a female mate instead? Of course not. I mean, it just seems so weird. The whole thing just seems odd, just really, really odd. Now, having said that, we do live in a society, or we do have a history where in the past we've had matriarchal societies on Earth, and the matriarchal societies have been rumored to have been have been conquered and kept down by the patriarchy, by men, and that. But at the same time, we've had powerful matriarchies in the past, and I think that there was a lot of potential here to make Almanac a very powerful matriarchy, but to establish it in this way, that it was a matriarchy, but somehow that was a secret. And that they kept, and that men kept the secret on Almanac, and men made sure it was going to be king and queen for centuries. It just seems rather odd, and really, when you none of it really makes a lot of sense, because when you think about it, if 1,000 years ago in Almanac there was a queen and queen, and people knew that, and that was the secret, then it seems to me why would they care? And it's very There's a lot of things that are forced and very convenient. They use a Thanagarian absorbicron, which which contains the historical memory of the two queens of Almerac. And it not only do all the modern day people of Almerac see the images of the two past queens of Almerac, but they also feel and experience what those queens were feeling as well. So because it's a psionic and mental memory that is imposed upon, an emotional memory that's imposed upon the people of Almerac. So they literally experience their past and really feel that same-sex union in their original queen and queen monarchy. And that really drives the thing home. So you can bet dollars to donuts, I guarantee it, that in the future, whenever Almerac is referenced, you're guaranteed you're gonna have that LGBT influence. That card's going to be played every time we get a reference to Almerac. Every time we see Maxima, we're going to be having her superpower girlfriend along with her, and we're going to be seeing that. And you know what? Frankly, it's probably not a bad idea, because we do need to have. I think we do need to have the idea of a strong matriarchy, a planet that's ruled by maybe more of a matriarchy. It's not a bad idea. I just think that the way it came across here was a little forced. So I like the concept of a powerful matriarchy in the current galaxy of the DC universe. I like the idea of a powerful planetary matriarchy. That's fine. It's good. You know, a little bit of variety in there. You want to throw that in there. I just think that I would have liked Steve Orlando to have had more time to really draw the story out over maybe 6 issues and you know make it feel more natural and organic as a story in terms of the characterizations and the progression, because as opposed to feeling forced, because it felt forced here. And in defense of Steve Orlando, maybe if he'd have had more time, he'd have been able to really flush that out, but through no fault of his own. And congratulations to him. He is working for Marvel now, so good for him. I wish him all the luck at Marvel. And we got at least we got a new history here for Maxima. And while I like a more aggressive Maxima than the one we got here, she's still a pretty cool character. Now, we get the 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse. They show up here at the end and they find Genocide. So Gail Simone created Genocide, and Genocide is actually a future version, twisted version of Wonder Woman. They find Genocide in some ancient coffin or crypt. How she got there, we don't know, because when Wonder Woman defeated Genocide sort of disappeared, I think, over the ocean or something. So in any event, not really sure how this is all coming together, but we're going to have these 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse now fighting Wonder Woman in future issues. It just sort of feels very forced, because we have the War Master, Paula von Gunther, gathering all these 4 horsewomen of Genocide, Armageddon, Devastation, and I forget the other one. And then they're all going to fight Wonder Woman, but I'm not really sure what their agenda is. I mean, I know they all have a reason to hate Wonder Woman, but it's sort of like the Sinister Six with Spider-Man. I don't mind getting a bunch of villains together to fight the main person, but I like to have a little bit more sophistication in the plot. I don't think we're going to get it. Just like in this issue, it was not a sophisticated plot at all. It was fairly one-dimensional, felt fairly forced. I think it feels very forced already, the whole 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse. And if ever there was a storyline I would want to see developed carefully, it would have been the 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse, because again, Steve Orlando's got a great idea with the 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse, but my God, wasting 2 issues on Valda, the Iron Maiden, and now 1 on Maxima, when this, I just feel that maybe it could have been done a little bit differently. Again, I love Maxima. As a matter of fact, I would have liked to have seen Maxima stay on Earth for a little bit to help Wonder Woman, along with Donna Troy, who will likely be appearing next issue and makes an appearance this issue. I'd like to see Maxima help Wonder Woman with Donna Troy fight the 4 horsewomen of Apocalypse along with Paula von Gunther. I think that would be a pretty cool storyline. So, again, I don't mind it. I've been a little bit critical here, but overall, I think it's a story this story is probably going to be referenced in the future, because Maxima, I guarantee you, Maxima is a character we're going to see again and again in the DC universe, especially as we get stories that want to have diverse characters And you can bet we're going to be seeing more of Maxima and probably some adventures on her own planet. And I'm surprised, quite frankly, that Bendis hasn't used her already for the whole Unity related saga in regard to the United Planets, to be quite blunt about that. But in any event, guys, tell me what you think of Wonder Woman issue 754. Gorgeous covers again. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. Leave a comment below. Until next time, Comic Boom out.